Financial struggles, financial betrayal, financial abuse. I want to talk about this today. What to do when your spouse is looking up their exes. Who comes first in marriage?
I'm Cass.
I'm Kathryn.
If you fall in love with two people, pick the second one because you never would have fallen in love with the second one to begin with if you actually loved the first one.
Triggered after growth.
We're Morrow Marriage.
Let's flip divorce statistics with the new marriage.
Hey, welcome to the Morrow Marriage podcast where we are real, raw, uncensored, and anointed. Okay, guys, we want to get into financial struggles, financial betrayal, financial abuse. I want to talk about this today because even a couple episodes back, we talked, and Kathryn was just candidly speaking, and she said about, a lot of women don't have the financial control. There's lots of ways we can go with this episode, but I want to highlight some very, very key points. Financial struggles. There is no excuse for it. We are currently giving you a way to move your life forward. We're redeveloping a program that has been kicking ass. And one of the things it can do is help you make money. It's fucking free. You just have to go to the app. You just have to use it. And what you do is you start to think about in the very beginning of this program of what do you subtract in your life. So last episode, we talked about coming clean. Things that you can subtract are often those things. Maybe that's just coming clean with yourself. Maybe you are watching too much Netflix. Maybe that is turned into 15 episodes of binge watching, okay? If you're struggling financially, why the fuck are you wasting time on that shit? You could be using all that time and doing something productive, like learning for free on YouTube. That's what we talk about when Kathryn always references the podcast, right? What other things are going on in your life that you could remove, and I mean even an hour of sleep a day, okay? Why are we struggling financially? Don't give me this shit about minimum wage or I lost my job. Excuse me, the amount of men that talk to me about losing a job, putting out resumes, the amount of resumes that they always give me as a number, I would have that done in 4 hours in the morning. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about for this week or this month. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not even figuring out how YouTube or Google how to be creative with resumes. I mean, shit, without me ever doing that ever in my life, I'm like, well, if I really want a job and I want to stand out, I'm going to put fucking balloons on that and make it smell nice and send it over there. I've never even had a job pretty much in my life. I figured out how to become an entrepreneur. And the only thing I can tell you there is I wish I would have invested in coaches faster because you'll learn much faster. 18 years of 150 grand to making mad money when we spent money on a coach. So there is no excuse for financial struggles. This goes for you women who Kathryn gets all the time, who are like financially under their husband's thumb. This is bullshit. This is absolute bullshit. I realize you could be financially abused, but you are responsible for your choices. What are you doing with your time so that you can learn how to make money? Why don't you have a side hustle? Kathryn has a big side hustle. She doesn't need my money, but she maximizes her time in a way where it's prioritized so that she can get her business run. I mean, you call the one thing is called the six-figure nap. You can teach women how to make money. The problem that we had actually delivering that to women was the women were financially being abused and therefore couldn't afford that program. So my point is this, you have to figure out a way to balance it. Maybe you need to go to YouTube and learn. There is no excuse for anybody not making money in this world because people suck at starting businesses and people are used to working at a job and people think this is the only way to make money. Okay, it's not. Just know it. It's not. If you need help, talk to the right people, but don't say, this is where my life is at. Now, you guys that are financially abusing your partners, typically you're not listening to this podcast, but in case there's one of you, that's the dumbest shit on the planet, talking about my money. When we talk about submitting to each other and, it always gets women hyped up until they read my post. And I always throw in a line like, I make sure she has money in her purse, or I make sure there's money in the account. Again, Kathryn doesn't need it, okay? But imagine you're in a situation where you are controlling your wife now. What in the actual fuck is that? Like, in what world? I make the money, so it's mine. Like, I can't.
A lot of men feel that way, though.
A lot of men.
Not all men are as generous as you are. And I don't know if it comes from fear or what, because I do make my own money. My quote unquote side hustle is a multi-six-figure business that I've coordinated to have other people working for me so that I can do what I want to do and still help people and still have an impact and a legacy and all those sorts of things. But in Cass's ideal world, any of the money that my business makes can just stay in the business or can pay for extras that we have. Or I always have like a secret little nest egg to spend on whatever, if he wants something, then I can go buy it for him. But he always makes sure that there's money in our joint account. He gave me not that this is a big deal, but he had an extra $20 bill. I don't know what you were doing with cash yesterday, but he had an extra one. So he always just gives it to me. I put it in my purse. The kids will spend it at Sonic or whatever.
Yeah.
But so I don't know where it comes from, gentlemen, when you claim, because here's the problem, you claim to be a provider. You make all this money. You're proud of your role as a provider. But what you're providing is not financial safety. If you are hoarding your money, sure, you maybe are paying the expenses and paying for the house. But if your wife has to ask for money to do something to treat herself, like an allowance, then you're going to come across like a parent, not as a husband. It's
You're
not
not
providing.
a partner.
You can limit, and you guys can have financial discussions. You don't need to just let your wife spend all the money. And most women are not going to do that, though.
In fact, most women are going to be more frugal. I know a lot of men are like, no, you don't understand my wife. She'll spend. Okay, that's your leadership, man. It's not about giving Kathryn the money and okay, do whatever you want with it. No, we've had conversations. We're going to talk about hard conversations today in the next episode that we film. But we have made plans. We have figured it out. And this is going to, a lot of you guys is going to go back to fear. If you're this kind of man, you're afraid that she's going to leave. Women who can't leave because, I don't know how I'm going to pay for myself. I can't tell you how many people just figure this shit out. Millionaires whose wives leave with suitcases and do not fight him in court while he's in my program. Do not want the money. Okay.
They just want to get away from
They just want to get away for peace. Okay. The amount of men who, try to give too much money, right? That's a form of enabling some of the behavior. There's so many different thought processes. That's why I said in the beginning of this episode, we could go in so many directions. But some ground rules are simple. If you're struggling with money, that's a you fucking problem. Okay? You need to stop investing time where it's not needed and start investing time into where it is needed to make more money. That might also include resources. You might have to start with looking around your house and selling that for $20, that for $1,500, that. It's that simple to start, guys. When we started to really learn, we didn't have any fucking money. We lost a 7-figure brick and mortar gym. We lost our house. We lost our cars. And this is why it frustrates me when people assume the magic pill. It's not a magic pill, by the way. And they assume that I'm a snake oil salesman. What in the world, man? I got to work. I sold my fucking socks on Marketplace to make some money to buy the first book. You guys don't understand. You just don't. You're responsible for those choices. Okay.
Did you actually sell your socks on Marketplace?
No, I just like to use that line because we literally lost everything. We couldn't even sell a ton of stuff. I had to learn how to make money using skills that I had already paid for before. Right. So, which you can do, by the way, I'll give you a freebie here. We paid $120,000 for a man named Alex Hormozi to be
I was just going to bring
coach.
that story up. We were struggling. We were about to close the doors of the gym. We had just bought our dream home. We had these beautiful vehicles and business was tanking. Well, we knew we had to do something. And so he found Alex Hormozi. This was $125,000 for the year. Now, the upfront cost was $16,000. I was pregnant with the girls and he told me that he wanted to spend this money. I was not in entrepreneurial mindset at that time. I was pregnant thinking about how we were going to not lose our home. How could we spend $16,000? Anyway, I trusted him. He made the decision. We were able to turn everything around. But what happened? We didn't just sit there, woe was me, and throw ourselves a pity party. Well, I kind of did. I was pregnant and hormonal and emotional.
And you didn't really understand entrepreneurship.
I didn't really understand.
Thrown into it, forced into it by me,
But the point is, he acted. What can I find? How do I get the resources? Someone lent us the $16,000, which we were able to pay back because we turned our gym into a 7-figure.
I negotiated $2,000 of their credit card. We made the first $8,000 in the first weekend. And in the next 2 months, we made $120,000. We could pay it all off. We could move it all forward.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Everything. Now, I learned in there a skill. One skill in particular, which was ad copy for Facebook ads to get people to come to the gym. Once you have that skill, which you can learn for free on YouTube, or for $10 from there's books out there, you can research them yourself. Just like I had to research and pick the coach, right? Alex Hormozi was the best, right? So Then from there, why do you think I went viral in 45 days? I knew how to connect with you on your emotional level because I shared my story. And I used the words that I felt, right, in the story. And then all of a sudden you get the first bunch of men into the program and boom, you take off. Guys, it is that simple. There is no excuse. Foundational point number one, there is no excuse for money problems. None, okay? 2, if you're being controlled, tie that back to the other way because you should be in a position where, Kathryn, it doesn't matter, okay? 3, if it is a peace problem, then you probably need someone's help. I'm going to talk about Kathryn here, especially because it's more likely going to be a woman listening, thinking that, you know, I have to stay. I have to stay. It's because of him. And he's going to then think it's because of money. You got to just understand, most men do not think or believe that their wife will leave. They just don't, okay? Until the rug, quote unquote, gets pulled out, okay? And the last thing is, if you are a financial abuser, you might not actually realize it. But Kathryn said it perfectly. If she has to fucking ask for money, like you're a level of control or manipulation that is uncalled for.
And you can have conversation. Let's talk about the Christmas tree.
Let's do that. Okay.
So we are down in Texas, technically visiting, and we're from Canada, where Christmas trees are
in your backyard.
You could cut one down from the woods. Little did we know that having the type of Christmas tree that we wanted was going to cost $1,200.
I walked in, I was like, $1,200?
I expected, so you've heard the story. We lost everything. We lost our home. We're living in a beautiful home right now. We're staying as visitors in a beautiful, be careful how I frame that, in a beautiful home. It has really high ceilings. And so I want to get a 14-foot Christmas tree. So we go into the place that was recommended. We went to a few different places. This tree is $1,200. So we're looking at it. He's really blown away. I'm blown away. I thought it was probably going to be $500. But they refrigerate them. They ship them down from Oregon. These are beautiful Christmas trees. And I can tell he's struggling with the price tag because you could see it on his face, and he did an Instagram story, and it was pretty funny actually. But I was like, well, we're not going to do a lot of Christmas presents this year. We don't know what we're doing with travel. We're buying an experience. We have a Christmas tree outside by the pool. We have one inside of our house. This is an experience. But I said, what did I say? If you really don't want to,
I'll respect you.
I'll respect your decision because it's a lot of money on a Christmas tree. Did I have to ask him if we could buy it? No, it was a conversation that we had. And if he would have said $1,200 is unreasonable for a tree, I would have been like, I would have probably said, but I really want it. Let's negotiate. We're not buying gifts. And he would have been like, no, it's still too much. I would have said, okay, you're right. It's too much. But that's not how the conversation went.
No,
Number one, I didn't have to ask. Number two, we were able to connect on it. He felt respected because I said, I'll respect you if this isn't something that you want to move forward on. But he also respected that we have this cool experience where we're going to have Christmas by the pool.
I was the one who said, well, we can pay for an experience. And then I said, why don't we buy 2? And that's what we did. So
it's a conversation.
That's right.
Daddy didn't have to tell me that I can't have the Christmas tree that I want. It's a conversation about money. And this could be the same, whether you're talking a ridiculous $1,200 Christmas tree or a $20 Christmas tree, depending on your financial situation. The conversation can be the same, the exact same. It doesn't matter if you're talking about people that have a lot of money or people that have a little bit of money. You should be able to connect on the money that you do have.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.